Welcome back to Memory Lane. My name is Craig Collins. Alongside me is Ben Bousman. We are back. We took about a week off from our normal uploads, and we're back now to finish off our reliving of the Cubs 2016 World Series run. We have finally made it to the Game 7 of the World Series. The anniversary of this win for the Cubs was earlier this week, and always fun to relive those 2016 memories. I know we've done the first two games, but that World Series, I try to watch at least some clips of it every year on the anniversary because it was just such a good memory.
Right, and not just that, but every time you have some good news that comes out of this, then you have bad news. Like I'm sure you heard about Lester possibly.
Yeah.
Did you read what he did for the fans of Chicago?
Where he bought beer for pretty much every. Yeah, he had basically everybody put beers on his tab, which I'm hoping they bring Lester back. I think the main reason they declined his option was because he was going to be paid so much. He's not pitching to that caliber
and
anymore.
He said he wants to finish.
Yeah,
there but then you had like Zobrist, who's no longer with the Cubs. Russell, let's not discuss that. Right? Like there's so many, differences from now, or from then to now that's depressing.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, but always still fun to go back and
for sure
and relive the World Series. So I didn't know what to condense this down to, so I just found a quick condensed version of the entire game. So that's what we're gonna pick up. We're gonna pick up in the bottom of the fifth. This was a controversial moment that kind of relates to this year's World Series, where Kyle Hendricks was pitching well. It gets into a little bit of a jam, and so Madden takes him out. Similar to what's happened with Snell, where Snell was pitching well and then got into a little bit of trouble, but Cash took him out as well. Worked out a little differently for the Cubs than it did for the Rays.
Right. The Rays ran into a little bit of trouble there, which is odd because they were sort of known for having a pretty decent bullpen. But yeah, this and some other things that happened later in this game were definitely controversial.
Yeah, and we want to also let you guys know that this is going to be the last episode of Memory Lane for a little bit, but we wanted to make sure and get this series finished. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for supporting this series. It's not going away for good, but this is just going to be the last upload. Just want to let you guys know that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this then. I'm sure Rajay Davis won't come back later in this game.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Well, this was a long night for me and a lot of Cubs fans.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, basically what happens, it's in the Santana at-bat coming up, is there's a pitch that gets called a ball that probably should have been called a strike, and that caused Santana to walk, and that's what caused Madden to go pull him out. Which, I mean, it made sense. I don't know if they'll show it in this. I mean, they should show it in this sequence here.
He's doing his best to make that clean. The 0-1 now. There's a strike. Santana. Ball one.
I mean, a good at-bat by Santana because, I mean, Hendricks is obviously trying to get him to chase a little bit, and he's not doing it.
Right. He sort of reminded me of the way he pitches like Greg Maddux.
Oh yeah, that
just the location.
That similarity has been drawn a lot of times.
They're both unassuming,
Right. So I will say this. So I did a little bit of a deep dive into this. Lester against, the move to a lefty here was not the worst decision because Kipnis had hit Hendricks in the World Series. But I just think, you wanted to get Lester a clean inning. You're telling me there wasn't one lefty, whether it be Travis Wood, who couldn't have come in and gotten this final out to then, especially with up four, you're not trusting Travis Wood
to get
with one out and 4 runs.
Yep. Little Grandpa Rossi.
Yeah, this is where things started to get antsy. especially when you have like Lindor up, because Lindor is one of the better hitters.
Oh, jeez. I think I just read an article that ranked all the World Series. I thought out of all the World Series, this was number 12.
Yeah.
Which it definitely, I think it should have been in the top 10.
I think so too.
Because both of the teams are, have won the World Series in forever. Obviously, the Cubs a lot longer.
Yeah.
But I think that weren't the Indians like 60-some years?
50-some, yeah. Like high 50s. This is like 58, I think.
Right.
Game 7. Russell leads off against Andrew Miller.
This is back when Andrew Miller came in. Everybody was worried.
Oh yeah. Well, I know that you were a big proponent, one of your big beliefs was that the Cubs should have gotten Miller instead of Chapman.
Right.
We'll go to Kenny after this.
Yeah, I remember. So, for those of you who don't know, I worked with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers out of college, which is the short season single A team for the Cleveland Indians. And so, this was, I'm obviously a diehard Cubs fan and wanted the Cubs to win, but this was going to, hurt a lot less. Ooh, Grandpa Rossi getting that home run.
Mm-hmm.
This was going to... I love that call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when you took a little bit more of an exhale and we're like, okay, maybe we're okay after all.
Yeah.
We weren't, but
yeah.
But yeah, so this was obviously a better scenario than if the Cubs were playing the Yankees or the Red Sox. But one of the guys I worked with the Scrappers, basically he was at this game in the general admission area and was gonna send me a ticket, and he did send me a ticket, but he was like, hey, he asked me what my address was, and I was like, nope, not telling you that until the game's over, because I was so nervous that something was gonna happen, and I think that was before what we just saw happen, where 2 runs scored.
And we also saw Haywood, and he plays a big part later in the game as well.
Yeah.
The 1-1. High 2-1. Lester with a count of 2-1. Took over in the 5th.
Lester had a rough year this year.
Yeah.
But he's always been good in the postseason.
Oh, yeah. I think this is a YouTube video, not anything with us. Yeah, and this isn't the only time Lester's come out of the bullpen in the playoffs for the Cubs and been good. I remember when they were playing the Nationals in the NLDS the following year, and he had a good outing or 2 out of the bullpen. So, and I think Lester, hell, I don't know how, because some pitchers are very prideful. They don't want to go to the bullpen, but the Cubs bullpen has not been the greatest. I'd be cool with being like, hey, Lester, do you want to try working out of the bullpen?
One name, Carl Edwards.
Yeah.
Jr. Throw the junior in there. I don't want to offend any actual Carl Edwards or anything.
Because if you just say Carl Edwards and not Carl Edwards Jr., you might think of the race car
driver.
driver. Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, you can tell your story from this night, but my story from this night was I was at work when the game started. I was actually getting ready to leave. Was walking out, checked my phone for the first time, walking out at 8 o'clock, seeing the... What the heck was that?
What? Angela Merkel.
Angela Merkel had a big impact on this game. Yeah. What the heck was that?
She's in attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You walked out of work and saw her?
Yeah, I walked out of work, saw that Fowler had hit the home run. I got home, and I got home, and I like sat down on the couch, and I didn't move the entire rest of the night. Like I even put out a Twitter poll that was like, during the rain delay, I was like, well, I haven't eaten all night because when I got home, I literally sat on the couch, didn't make myself dinner, didn't do anything like that. It's like, what do I do? And I put out a Twitter poll. They're like, yep, you got to stay in the same spot. You can't jinx it.
And by the way, side note, because Schwarber just flew out.
Yeah.
I think he's one of my favorite Cubs players.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's got the Indiana connection, and but you know when he came back from that injury,
Yeah.
and he had like those mammoth home runs against the Mets and everything.
Yeah.
That was really neat. But no, my story was I distinctly remember everybody being asleep in the house except me, sitting out in the living room watching it, and then when it happens, I called my mom and dad. Like, what was it, like 1 in the morning?
Yeah.
It was late. Called parents, went and woke the wife up, and I still couldn't sleep for like an hour or two.
Yeah. Were you at work the next morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was worth. It's one of those.
Oh,
that
yeah,
you
for
could get
sure.
like 2 hours of sleep and still be good.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you see stories of like, there was a story. A guy went to his father's gravesite, pulled up a chair, and listened to the whole game. Right there.
That's awesome.
And he looks to be out. So we'll take by 3. Lester deals a strike. Away. That would have been count on Coco Crisp, who gets under it and flies it to Zobrist in left. Then in relief, Roberto Perez with 1 out takes a strike. Perez and taken back by coming out in that situation. One more hitter can make that claim. That's the man on deck, Carlson. The 2-1. 2-2. In the 7th. 2-2. Full count. 3-2. That's inside for a 1-out walk.
Oh man.
But he followed until the
He
9th.
said, nice at bat. I think that's why if you...
Well done, chap.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way back in the 5th. 2 out. Ball 1 inside
Trying to remember. This is when they brought in Chapman, right?
to the Marlins.
Because they
It
brought
might
in
be-
Chapman for the
This World Series
to the
Did you say
8th.
eighth?
Yeah. There-
That's Montero, right?
Yeah. Oh no, that was
The only change,
Cody, or no, not Cody Ross, David Ross.
Oh.
Yeah. Jeez, Ben, you call yourself a fan?
No, because the reason I was asking, I forgot they each wanted, like Lester always wanted Ross as his personal catcher.
Yeah.
But
Contreras comes in later because Contreras hits a home run. No, Contreras hit the home run earlier. So yeah, Contreras started the game, then got taken out for Ross.
yeah, but was Montero somebody's...
Montero came in later.
Right, but was he somebody's preference?
I don't know, honestly. I know Victor Carantini is Yu Darvish's preference. I don't know if that's what you're thinking of. But
I swear, I knew. Why didn't I know the Ross one?
pops it up. Allen dominant. Bottom of the 8th. Lester back for more.
okay, I was like, I knew that like
I thought it was the 8th.
it is because Lester gets taken out of this inning. I was like, I knew it was in the middle of an inning. I couldn't remember if Chapman came in the 7th.
2-0. Hard hit right at Madison Russell. 1 away. Napoli hitless tonight. Strike 1.
You know, and we can start talking a little bit about how, you know, there are claims, and some of them founded, some unfounded, of
The 1-2.
the overuse of Aroldis Chapman. And honestly,
Right.
like, the only thing that I disagree with how it was used is in
Have him
game
start the
6.
game? Yeah.
Is game 6.
Here's Jose Ramirez.
Where he was in the game when it was close, but then once the Cubs officially broke it open and were up, although they broke it up open relatively early, like he didn't need to be in the game really at all in Game 6,
No.
and yet he was used, you know, quite a bit. That's the only one where I'm like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have been used.
To save that arm.
Yeah. But everything else, like, I mean, they needed every pitch from him in that Game 5 win. They needed, like, people forget he came in here, or after what happens here happens. He did go out and pitch a good ninth inning.
Right.
They'll have to get more than 3 outs tonight.
Wonder how the lineup would have done if Russell stuck
Here,
around.
a little bit more this way.
Oh, yeah.
You're out of the shot there, bud.
What, like this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do that.
If Russell would have stuck around,
Yeah.
like if they would have kept him at short and Baez at second,
I
switched it up.
I think honestly, just production-wise, forget about that he's a garbage person. Like,
Right.
I think no matter what, I think he would have been traded at some point because he still was good defensively. He just wasn't. Now here's the legit thought I had going through my mind. I was like, well, yeah, tying runs at the plate, but Davis isn't gonna hit a home run. He's not your typical power
Right.
guy.
That's like John Lester coming up, and you're
Yeah.
like, nah, we don't have to worry about him hitting a home run.
Yeah.
Or getting a hit. you
Right.
know?
Well, I mean, that literally happened 2 years later for the Cubs. Trevor Story comes up in the wild card game, and A-Rod literally says, well, at least he didn't hit a home run, and he's the one that gets driven in by Tony Walters, I think it was, for the Rockies. Yeah, dude, my heart was, like, in my stomach. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think this is where we all, like, as fans just shouted a couple of choice words and said, that's it.
Yep.
And that's part of the reason, obviously, it was a late night for most of us.
That he had to foul off, and the one area that gave Davis a chance to hit a home run is where Chapman threw it. And now Chris. Ball one, 8th of Game 7 to tie it. Here's a base hit by Chris.
See, now we're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Ball one now. Bounced into a double play and a check on Chris as they go ahead and run it. 2-0. Now a 2-0 pitch to Gomes.
Now, the rumor I heard from that buddy that works in that works with me, worked with me with the Scrappers, he said that what ended up happening was that, because I don't know if you know this, but they have like the champagne, like basically, I don't know why they do this. They set up for the like popping of the champagne. Like they make that judgment call and go to, so they apparently they were in the Cubs. If they were in the Cubs one, they tore everything down, went to the Indians one, and during the rain delay, the Indians saw that and like kind of like spooked them, is what I heard. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I was told, but like that's the theory.
Yeah,
Which
just,
I was like, which has caused me to think like, why don't they just stay like go in the middle and then just whoever wins, like they're gonna be on the field for a while, like
give you time to set up.
Yeah. But that's what I heard. I don't know the validity of that, but you know what? We'll just say it's true.
Yeah. Well, it makes it a lot more cool.
Yeah, I mean this bullpen too. I mean, and you talk about overusing too. I mean, like Cody Allen, Andrew Miller, all used a ton during this postseason. So like, you could argue that. I mean, Chapman of these relievers, Miller, Cody Allen. Like Chapman's been the best of those three. If you want to talk about, they overused him in the postseason.
Oh.
And Joe Madden's going to get an explanation. Let's see. This is why Major League Baseball has got to give an announcement as to what they're looking at.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
First, 1 out.
What?
And it was an
What? He's out. I'm what?
Yeah.
No.
You're asking me out.
Yeah.
What?
There. And Hayward didn't take off on a ball that innings. He was trying to throw 3. The postseason. 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, the Indians basically had a bullpen that worried you. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Was he starting to wave him for a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah, he
He's like,
was.
no, no, wait.
Oh, wait a minute.
Imagine being that guy that sends
Yeah.
in.
And then I hated this, the suicide squeeze, or safety squeeze.
Right.
Especially you got Fowler coming up. I mean, even I don't know. I remember being really annoyed at this, thinking that was actually going to get through. I got pretty mad about that because I was like, I thought that was getting through too, and that was going to score the run, and it didn't. I was so mad. Yeah, I was like, and like I said, Chapman pitched a solid bottom of the ninth. I mean, he as rattled as giving up 2 runs in the to tie it. I mean, came back and pitched well.
Santana hits one in the air to left, got under it. Zobrist is coming on.
I wonder how much Joe Madden was crapping himself at this point, because he's like, the only 2 relievers I trust are Chapman and Montgomery.
Yeah, who did he bring in from the outfield to pitch? He did that like a game. Didn't he have...
He's had guys come out of the bull. Like who was the main guy? I mean, I know he's had like Carantini's pitched. Ian Happ's pitched
this season.
This season, I don't remember. It might have been Chris Coughlin.
Man, why? Yeah, I mean, he did move a lot of people. A lot of people could play multiple.
Yeah.
Bryant, Zobrist. Who else did he have switch? Bryant and Zobrist are the main ones.
Yeah.
Game 7 is going to the 10th. Schwarber, Bryant, Rizzo.
Well, Schwarber at one time did both.
Yeah.
Hard hit, base hit. Lead off Chris Bryant, who has a hit, a walk, 2 runs scored tonight. Ball 1 missing. Hitters. That pitch dangerously up, and Bryant fouls it back. He could gap you. Fought it off. Good pitch hit.
Talk about a guy that's been hurt a lot.
Yeah. Bryant, unfortunately, is somebody I'm like, you know what, I don't want him to go, but I can see him being a guy they kind of have to trade.
Mm-hmm.
Which that was a big tag.
No, look, he turned around hoping to...
Yeah. Wow, I forgot this was a thing. That's how you intentional walked people back in the day.
Yeah.
Zobrist spoils it.
Nice.
Cubs will take the lead. Almora digging to the plate. Zobrist delivers 7-6 in the 10th. What he did, so he deserves a lot of credit for thinking about the scenario earlier than it was called for. Second intentional walk. Odds are against Chapman going back out there. Plate. That's a foul ball. Off the rest of this 10th. That's a base hit. Rizzo scores. Zobrist is held. 8-6 Chicago. Fastball with velocity against Hayward.
Trevor Bauer could be a future Cub.
Oh, is that a rumor?
I mean, basically everybody and their brother this year is going to be in the Trevor Bauer sweepstakes. Sweepstakes.
Wait.
Schwarber's hit started this uprising in the 10th. Hayward goes around and strikes out. As power bounces
I don't know about
over
that,
there.
but
It's so weird how. Well,
no, yeah, kind of.
But like from the front,
yeah,
you're like, there's no way.
yeah.
Trevor Bauer. 8-6 Cubs. Hittable of 8, including a home run by that man, David Ross, in his final big league game. Here's a 1-1. Strike 2. And foul.
Man, he struggled with that year, and then
Yeah.
he got better, and I think he struggled with it a little more this year.
Yeah.
Fly ball into center.
Yeah, he definitely. That was back in the days where you could throw it in the other batter's box, and he would try to.
In the dugout.
Yeah, he would try to just freaking hit it to Lake Michigan.
The signs for Carl Edwards Jr. We're about to find out.
Oh, see, look,
Yep. There's your boy, Carl Edwards Jr.
Sometimes react to that.
drives a mean race car.
Yeah, dude. I
To Napoli.
had
Outside.
a lot higher hopes for him. He started out not too bad, and then he just kind of, I don't know if you want to call it the yips, but just couldn't
Yep.
seem to get out of innings.
Strikeout starts the 10th. Strike 1. Deal 1. That is foul down the right field line. Strike 2. Ball 1. Ball 2. Timeout.
I'd be interested. I don't have the numbers up here, but I'd be interested to see how much Edwards had pitched in the postseason at all. Like in games that the Cubs had the lead, because I know Justin Grimm got in a game here or there. Edwards did get a game here and there, but I think most of the time it was when they were losing
2-0.
during the course of the postseason, as opposed to any time they were up. Whenever they were up, it was either Montgomery or
You were just naming some names. I'm
Chapman.
just trying to think. Who's still with the Cubs?
from this team.
As far as pitching.
I don't know about pitching, because I
I mean,
mean,
besides Hendricks and Lester.
yeah, Hendricks, Lester, because Arrieta's gone.
Yep.
Strope is not there anymore. Because Strope is somebody I would have expected to see here.
Is he Is he on American League team now? Who's he with?
No, Strope went to. Yeah, this is where I was like, well, here we go again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Strope went to the Reds.
Oh.
Curveball to light. Look for. Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant. The Cubs.
Yeah. And when they slow it down, you can see Bryant smiling when he
Yeah.
goes to.
Yeah, and see, a lot of people say when they saw Bryant's foot slip, they thought the throw was going to be airmailed, and it was a higher throw, but I never thought it was really in doubt. It never looked in doubt to me that he was going to catch it.
I mean, once it came off the bat, everything to me was in doubt.
Yeah,
You know,
true,
it
yeah.
you're like, I don't want to miss a play.
There
I
we
don't.
go. There we go. That's the end of it. But
Brought me to tears again.
yeah,
You
definitely.
can't see them, but they're inside.
Yeah, they're in, I'm crying internally.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but it was a great World Series. It definitely was fantastic to watch, and capped off a fantastic season, and it was kind of just a sense of relief too, because look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers, even though they didn't have the drought aspect of it, they went. This was their third World Series they had been to here recently and couldn't win it. The Royals need to go to their second one to get it. So it's definitely even though obviously you thought the Cubs were going to win more. You look back on it, you're like, man, good thing we won in 2016, because if they didn't, who knows where they'd be.
Right, and it makes it better that to look back on it now, especially with a shortened season,
Yeah.
and with everything else not happening, and you look back on this and you see, to me, easily one of the top 10 World Series. Heck, being a Cubs fan, I'll put it in my top 5.
Yeah.
But then, so many good moments. You see all these celebrities there in the crowd. Everybody's interested. The whole country's like, hey, good. And then, so it was great. I wish we could have kept some of these players around.
Mm-hmm.
But it's common sense. It's not going to happen. Half of them are going to get traded. Half of them are going to retire. Half of them are just who knows? But.
Yeah. Well, that will do it for Memory Lane this week. So, like I said, we're gonna just kind of leave it there for right now. We are gonna bring the series back, so make sure you stay tuned. Also, stay tuned for other content we do have planned on the YouTube channel, and tune into the Crash Course podcast every Monday. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.
See you guys.